maybe some paper information, and it's just your system for keeping track, okay? Use that chart. Number 6 is to be prepared always. Be prepared always. God bless you. How many of you in this room have a team building packet or something right now in your purse that you could give to someone instantly that relates to you building a team right now? Excellent. I am so not surprised, because your harvest is coming in January from all the work you did in December. Even your phone. Okay, so in our world today, the paper stuff, we don't always have to have it. Because if you can hop on your phone and you can get to, something on marykay.com or something that, like for me, it's my website. I have a recording of myself, my consultants, anywhere at any time can go on with a prospect and listen to me for 15 minutes talk about the opportunity. Okay, so that's just on the phone. But do you have stuff that's accessible? Okay, just have it accessible and be ready. Be ready for how you're going to use that. Also be ready for your next steps. When we're team building, we're thinking ahead. We're thinking ahead. What are my next steps? So I've been in front of this person with product, and now we're sitting down and we're talking about the opportunity, and she just isn't quite there yet. Where do I go from here? What do I do? This is where I typically see consultants kind of panic. I don't know what to do now. What do we do? You've always got to have the next step. So what is your next step? Is it, here's a little packet of information. It's really nothing new. You know all of this information since we've talked about it, but I would love for you to take this and just review it on your own tonight. And let me also suggest, make a pros and cons list. How would this business benefit you? Would there be any cons if you did this? And let's touch base tomorrow. I've got this time or this time. What's great for you? That's a next step, okay? Or, it's been so much fun to be able to visit with you. Thank you for helping me with my leadership training. What I would love to do at this point is to connect you with my director. She's going to want to ask you some questions about how I did in our visit today. And if you would give really great feedback, that will help me as I'm moving up the career path in Mary Kay. Would it be okay for her to call you for 5 or 10 minutes sometime today or tomorrow? That's a next step. You're keeping people in the process. Keep them in the process until you hear no. And I think no means not right now. Because you never know. 3 months from now, something could totally change in her life. Her husband could lose his job. God forbid. She could lose her job. You never know what's going to change in people's lives. But keep the next step going and know what it is you're going to do next. So if she hasn't said no thank you, and she hasn't said yes, then there's something else we need to do to keep that process rolling. Okay, number 7. Oh, totally preaching to the choir on this one today. Dress the part. You guys, I've had the privilege of traveling across the country in Mary Kay for years. You are one of the sharpest looking groups of directors and consultants I've ever seen. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. Yeah. You dress the part. You look professional. You look great. You look slamming. It's the beginning of a brand new year. It's a good time to do an assessment. What do I need to change? Okay? It only takes 7 seconds for people to make a first impression. For you to make a first impression on them, even if you don't intend to. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yep. I'm standing on a curb yesterday at the airport with Pete, and Sherry's coming up. And I see the pink Cadillac coming up, and so I'm waving to her. And so I just kind of go and grab my purse down here, and a lady comes up to me and she says, I have to have your card. Are you in Mary Kay? I said, I am in Mary Kay. This is my great friend. I'm coming to visit her and be with her. And she said, I've got to have your card. You are so slamming. I was thinking, that's what I say to people. I need your card too. But your presence will speak for itself, okay? So I just was dressed in, Mary Kay, professional, coming in, having some great time with the directors yesterday, but it makes a difference. It makes a difference. And so when you look great, it's your calling card. It's so easy to attract people to you when you've dressed the part. Now, you cannot always be in a suit. You can't always have your hose on. I have an almost 10-year-old and a 3-year-old. My other life is running to voice lessons and going to dance and all that kind of stuff. Am I in a suit? No, I would look ridiculous. Unless I'm going and doing a quick appointment after or before, whatever, and if it works out that way, that's how it works out. But if I'm going, I'm going to sit in bleachers, I'm going to look like a cute mom. And I'm going to have my Mary Kay face on. And that's going to help me relate better to people. Does that make sense? Yep. So I want my image to attract people, not to scare them like it's too much, okay? When I go into a smaller town to work in, we debuted a director in a very small town in Nebraska, about 1,000 people in that town, and all ranchers. You know, so this is farm country. This is big belt buckle country. You know, salt of the earth people. I assure you, I did not have all the diamonds on. I wasn't looking all super trendy, funky. They just can't go there. I'm okay with that. I want to attract people to me. I want them to feel comfortable with me. Did I have my director's suit on? Yes. Okay? But I wasn't wearing my funkiest heels, and you know what I mean. So just think about, who am I going to be in front of? And you always keep your Mary Kay image without question, but there are different levels of Mary Kay image, if that makes sense. Okay? All right, we got that. Number 8 is going to be some very important questions, and I'm going to give you these very quickly. We're getting to the end of this topic. This would be called the 5 most effective team building questions. These are something that you are going to either print out, or you're going to go to my website and print out for yourself, because there will be some description behind each one. If you print it from my website, I think it would really benefit you. My website is www.victoryarea.com. And you'll need to do a little login. Don't worry, just do your login and my assistant will get you approved. No big deal. But it's going to be under training. It's going to be under team building. And it'll be called the 5 most effective team building questions. Here's the number 1 error we make in team building. The number 1 error we make is we talk too much. We do all the talking and we forget to ask her, how would that benefit your life? So, I love the extra money. Let me tell you the 101 ways I love the extra money. And 45 minutes later, you're still talking about the extra money and how much you love it. And you forgot to ask her about what she would do with extra money. So ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. These are more related to closing questions. Okay, now that can happen immediately in an appointment, absolutely. Or this might be more of a follow-up. Okay, number 1. If you don't become a consultant today, where do you see yourself a year from now? If you don't become a consultant today, where do you see yourself a year from now? What that does is it's powerful because it's forcing her to look at her life a year from now if she doesn't say yes. Question number 2. If you were to become a consultant today, what will be improved in your life a year from now? If you were to become a consultant today, what will be improved a year from now? The wording is very important. You're not asking her what would be different. You're asking her what would be improved or better. What this does is it puts her in a position of hope. Hope will move people's souls. Hope will move hearts 10 times more and faster than any facts. So you've positioned her to think about her desired future. This is good. She is going to sell you on how Mary Kay would improve her life, not you trying to persuade her that Mary Kay would change her life. Number 3, what qualities do you have that would make you shine as a consultant? What qualities do you have that would make you shine as a consultant? I love this question, you guys, because here again, you could sit across the table from someone and you could spend hours telling her why you think she'd be great. Does that make her feel good? You bet. But does she own it? She doesn't own it until she thinks it herself and verbalizes it. And it's through ownership that people have power and are empowered. Does that make sense? So your compliments are great. And they're helping people to feel good about themselves. But it's not helping her own the fact that she's going to be great in Mary Kay. So share with me, what qualities do you have, or strengths? I'll often use the term strengths. Do you have that would make you great at Mary Kay, or a wonderful consultant, or shine as a consultant? And then she tells you, I love people. I'm very organized. I love new projects. I'm not afraid to have new challenges. Whatever she says. And whatever she says, you say, that is wonderful. Wow, that is a trait that is so effective in our company. You're just agreeing with her, okay? The fourth most effective question is, what are the 2 most important reasons for you to become a consultant today? What are the 2 most important reasons for you to become a consultant today? Now notice I keep saying today, don't I? That's critical, because that is mobilizing her to make a decision today. But the 2 most important reasons for you to become a consultant, you will oftentimes see an overlap here with question 4 to question 2. Because what she wants to see improved in her life, like I want to have more financial freedom and I want to have more flexibility, are probably going to be her top reasons for doing it. Does that make sense? Now, does it hurt that we get her to repeat what she really wants in her life? Repetition is key. That question is critical because she will most often say something that she's already verbalized and now she says it again and she really wants it. And your last one is to say this. It does sound like you would be an excellent consultant. Why not just give it a try? It does sound like you would be an excellent consultant. Why not just give it a try? So she's told you, and as you say, it does sound, from everything you've said, like you would be a great consultant. You're affirming her that she has sold you. Why not just give it a try? Wish I could take credit for those questions.